Okay, it's Trapt, one of the most oddly named PS2 games I've ever been aware of.
Yeah, especially considering it's part of a bigger series.
Yeah, this is just the American name. The Japanese name was Kagero 2 Dark Illusion, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the series has the weirdest naming conventions.
Yeah, God. Because the first one was Tecmo's Deception Invitation to Darkness.
Yeah.
Then Deception 2 Kagero, then Kagero 2,
Yeah.
which is not a Deception game. And then Kagero, or Deception 3 follows this game.
Yeah.
Even though this is the third Deception game.
And then there was an expansion to that called Deception 4 The Nightmare Princess.
Yeah.
I love
It never ends.
I love this series, but it's right up there with fucking the Strider series for incomprehensible names. Like, what's your favorite Strider game? Strider, Strider Returns, Strider 2, or Strider? The Blast Iron. Alright, I'm getting the vibe. This is another obscure foreign thing Static is inexplicably high knowledge of. Damn toot no, it is.
Hell yes.
Anyone else would feel really annoyed that they're that predictable, but at this point, I just wear it like a badge of honor.
Yeah, you've got a brand.
I know
That's
what
worth $1 million.
I know what I'm not, and I accept it.
Yeah, we talked about doing like all the Deception games except for the first one, because the first one's terrible.
Yeah, first one is... It's basically a proof of concept. The idea is fantastic, but the execution is just atrocious. Second one is the most popular. That's Kagero. The fourth one...
Then this is the sequel to that one, because
Yeah.
I guess it was so popular.
The fourth one and the Nightmare Princess. They have better graphics, and they shake things up quite a bit. But it adds a lot more strategy to the game that it doesn't really need, so it's just not quite as much fun.
Also, Nightmare Princess was the first one on the PS4, and it is unbelievably horny.
Oh boy, howdy! One of the
Astoundingly horny.
one of the main mechanics is the fact that there are armored enemies, and most of the enemies have some kind of body armor in general. And by using certain traps, you can destroy their armor. Totally fine, not a problem. Except all the characters are stripped down to their underwear, and a lot of the female knights seem to have stockings, suspenders, and sheer bras as part of their uniform. Can't imagine why. Think that's a bit weird, but maybe that's just me.
And not to spoil anything, but a lot of our attacks are traps.
Well.
And a lot of the traps in that game are like tentacles and like sexual torture devices. I mean, the Spanish Inquisition would be proud.
Yeah, there's different categories that the traps fall into, and a large number of them fall into the category of, and I quote, humiliation.
Right, yeah.
Like, the game itself is genuinely fun, but you feel like if anyone's going to walk into you at any point, you're going to have a lot to explain. And I live alone.
It's a filthy game, that's for sure. Like, this game, many years beforehand, is already out of control horny. Like, look at our main character, Allura. She looks like she's like Vieira in starting armor.
Are you saying that the titty heart is bad?
That lingerie does not seem to suit her. Or anyone, for that goddamn matter. This is supposed to be, like, Victorian England based, where, like, ankles were a scandal at the time. They even called them skankles, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably.
For a variety of reasons.
Like,
she's the most conservatively dressed, and she's so horny.
Yeah, it makes sense with her, because obviously she's doing the whole femme fatale vamp kind of thing. Like,
totally, yeah, she makes sense.
Yeah, that no problem with. But, you know, the princess has half her bra hanging out.
Yeah, she is undercut by how absurdly overdone everyone else is.
Yeah. So if you think this game looks silly, just go look up some of the character art for the Nightmare Princess. It gets ridiculous, even by my standards, and I'm willing to accept basically anything at this point.
Yeah. I think one of the main characters in that game is literally a succubus.
Three of them are.
There we go.
There's three demons who essentially you have to fulfill missions for, and one of them is your classic big-titted One-san. One of them is really 1500 years old, guys. I promise. And then there's the other one. She is literally just there's the two extremes that are so extreme, just the other one feels like she was put in as an afterthought.
Yeah. Just utterly beyond parody.
Yeah.
Like you would make, well, I bet one of the characters is a succubus as a joke, and then there's three succubuses.
Yeah. And the thing is that the game is genuinely really good fun. Like, I love this series. But as I said, like you feel like you're going to be on a watch list just for playing it.
Totally, yeah. That's one of the big drawbacks of the series. Similar to the Shadow Hearts series in that way.
Yeah. Shadow Hearts, Kudelka, and Shadow Hearts Covenant, three of my favorite RPGs of the late 90s, early 2000s. And then there's From the New World.
It's weird because Kudelka is very sexless. Like there's a sort of a romance subplot, but even that is very downplayed.
Technically,
the main character is not really sexualized at all.
Yeah, like she wears a very lacy outfit, but it works more in a sort of classic goth sort of style.
Mm-hmm.
And Shadow Hearts has a couple of weird things in it. Shadow Hearts Covenant gets even weirder.
I've honestly only seen like the first 2 hours of Shadow Hearts, and it was way too horny for me even then. So I think it goes up from there. It's disturbing.
Yeah. Covenant and From the New World would probably make your head explode.
I'm not a prude, I swear. I just gotta call some things out when they're there.
Oh no, it's just if you're like, that's a bit too much, then buddy, we have not even begun to horn with this series.
Here's our upcoming intruders. We can learn about them, but that doesn't make any sense because we haven't met them yet. So
yeah.
I played this tutorial level just to make sure the game worked.
Yeah. The character entries are, some of them are vaguely interesting. Most of them are just like, this guy has a fear of tacos but likes Wellington boots, and it's like, okay, what does any of that have to do? And
it's a little easy to get lost if you ignore them. They refer to them in dialogue, even though they don't explain what they're referring to.
Yeah. And
sometimes.
Like, if you don't bother reading them, then it'll be like someone dying and saying, "No, I always loved you." And
exactly.
You go and read the data entry for it, and it's like they're in love with their commanding officer, but they can never tell.
Also, this grass around us is not supposed to be black. Although I do think it makes sense because the whole reason that everyone hated King Olaf is because he's let the kingdom fall into ruin.
Yeah.
So maybe that includes vegetation, all burning down.
See, this is a game where the story is both incredibly important and utterly ignorable. Like,
True,
you can forget everything about it and just enjoy leading people into traps. I mean, the main character's called Allura, for fuck's sake.
It's not a very deep or thought-provoking game.
No.
If you want the version that is deep and thought-provoking, go watch our playthrough of Library of Ruina.
Yes.
Which is disturbingly similar in concept.
Very much
but,
so.
Much more well thought out.
That's a game where the story is literally 50% of the game, full stop. Not just for how much it is, but also because it's very well told and very well written.
Yeah. I'm in this game, apparently.
Hey,
Fiend is...
It's me, the devil. How you doing?
Yep, thanks for stopping by my house.
You should do something about the gardens. Like, they're not meant to be black.
Yeah. In the first deception, the character who corrupts the main character is literally named Satan.
Yeah, you are literally resurrecting the devil.
Yeah, yeah, that got censored out of all future versions, but it's literally Satan we're dealing with here.
There's very little crossover between each of the games. Usually it boils down to maybe a couple of costumes and the same traps showing up over and over again. But the character from the second game, Millennia, she always has a cameo in each of the following games, even if it's just as a costume.
I know the fourth game has like playable versions of almost every character in the series with their own like story campaigns and stuff.
Yeah, there's 2 main story campaigns for the 2 main characters. And then there's a bunch of basically challenge maps that you can do where you play as the other characters from the other 3 games.
Yeah. But like we said, we won't be messing around with that one too much, even if we do dig further into the series.
Yeah.
That one is the event horizon. It goes too far into its own
It's, as I said, it's
worst instincts.
Genuinely, it is a really fun game. I don't know if I can quite recommend it. Like, I can recommend playing it, just maybe not watching it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So, we went into the House of the Devil, and this guy showed up because we are a wanted princess suspected of our father's murder.
Yep.
And now the devil will not give us our powers until we kill this guy. I literally can't move. All I can do is press one of the face buttons, which will cause one of the things on the side to happen. So, bear trap.
And
Okay, he's trapped.
Shoot arrows at him.
Nope.
Oh,
He's dead.
okay.
He had so little health. That was the easiest tutorial in video game history. Just press A face button and you win.
Because the thing with the game is you're supposed to, as you can see there, it says max combo, and the idea is you're meant to set up combos of traps and stage elements in order to get lots of cash in-game currency and deal massive amounts of damage to the enemies. So you really need to play tactically once you get past maybe the first quarter of the game.
Ralph and Alan are here.
Ralph!
To defeat Satan and his influence on the princess. So we one-shot Alan. Alan was the weakest soldier in history.
Alan had brittle everything disease.
Yep. Ralph is not much of a thinker. He will just let us outrun him forever.
I wonder if this game will have a name as good as Wizbone. Yeah, that's the other thing as well. The series is infamous for, shall we say, poorly translated names.
Yeah. I mean, because we kill every single character we come across and we are constantly getting invaded. Oh, I did not mean to do that.
Yep.
We're constantly getting invaded by different characters because everyone we meet dies.
Mm-hmm.
So over the course of the game, we're going to meet like dozens of people, and they're going to get, in some cases, very, very ridiculous. They're not all just generic soldiers with no HP.
This one is admittedly the one that I have the least experience with. I was never able to get a copy of it up until about 5 years ago. And, you know, like I played the second and the fourth game to death. But this one I'm not too familiar with. But the other...
For me, it's the opposite. I watched a very thorough 100% Let's Play of this game once.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'd looked for them, but... Alright there, mate. But yeah, I'd looked for like decent playthroughs, but never been able to actually find any because everyone was always reading out the dialogue in funny voices, which is a bit of mine. But there's a lot of pretty much every game in the series, including I think this one, has branching paths depending on who you let survive. One of the common things is there'll be like just like a random villager will stumble across the place and you have an option of either killing them on the spot or letting them leave. And if they leave, that takes you down a completely different path to murder. I think it's the second one. You can actually go for like the first 3 missions without killing anyone, and that completely alters the way the game plays out.
Yeah, I totally forgot that was a mechanic. I think this game also allows you to allow people to escape once or twice over the course of the game.
Because it's one of the weird things about the series is that you like up until maybe, you know, the 5th mission, you can basically do a pacifist run.
Yeah. Oh, also, we are apparently not allowed to see what their profiles were after the mission.
Yep.
So I guess I will look at what it is before the mission from now on. But apparently Alan just proposed to Aina, who is Ralph's sister.
Oh, no!
You killed my future brother-in-law. Obviously, I must defeat Satan to overcome such a travesty. Also, Ralph, for some reason, is stated to have been refusing to propose to his girlfriend until Alan proposed to his sister.
Did he not want to steal his dumbass friend's thunder or something? Like
something like that? This world has its unique traditions, we'll say. This is not quite Europe. So it has weird customs we can't possibly comprehend.
The game loves getting into the weird melodrama and the soap opera kind of aspects of it, and it just gets really, really silly.
So this is interesting. Play the story from another angle. What the fuck does that mean?
I'm assuming that lets you play as one of the other characters.
Maybe.
Don't know if it'll be available, but there are like sub-stages that you can play to get more money.
Executioner who hates his job.
Loves his partner Ellen. The feeling is not mutual. Always set on by a man in the same unit, and it's thinking of quitting before she kills him.
Why not after?
No, kill him, then leave.
Yeah.
Like this is, you know, the ye dark ages. It's not like they've got fucking next door or anything to find you.
Yeah. No forensics whatsoever. Kill the guy who's sexually harassing you at work.
I think if you go, I don't know if you've unlocked it yet. Check trap elements quickly. Yes, make trap.
We can build stuff.
Yep.
Oh, surprisingly, we can afford to build both of these. I would not have thought that. Might as well.
Those are just ceiling traps, though, so you don't forget to scroll to the side and check the others. Build the butt plug. Oh.
Sure, I'll take the death ball. Oh, that unlocks a new one. And yeah, there's other types of traps. And keys and stuff?
Yeah, so the stage each, I think there's like 3 full maps, and each one has additional sections that you can open, which have additional stage traps, essentially, that you can launch people into.
Interesting.
Is this like Baroque? No. Well, it is and it isn't. Baroque is more of a roguelike. This is almost more of a puzzle game in some ways.
Yeah, in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and also the story in this is comprehensible without having to consult YouTube, whereas Baroque's story, as much as I love it, requires like 10 playthroughs.
Yeah.
Like I love that. I love that game, but I cannot recommend anyone play it.
I just loaded a save state. So we've undone all of our progress.
Oh, great.
But most of what we've done was watch cutscenes.
Yeah.
Which are skippable. I'm good at pressing buttons. Don't worry about that.
You am the best.
We could even skip loading. This time...
Yeet this boy. I beat Baroque multiple times, but I still haven't gotten a good ending. There is no good ending. Everything's terrible forever. Unless you mean like you've cleared the tower several times, which you need to do in order to fully finish the game. I think you need to actually clear the tower like 6 times, because every time you do, like the first time you go down, it just extends to level 10 or so, and then 20, and then 50, and then 100, and so on. So you need to, as I said, if you check a guide, you need to go through the entire thing about 9 or 10 times in order to actually finish the game. Until then, you don't get an ending, and each playthrough takes at least about 3 hours. So it's a game that you really need to dig away at. Love it to bits.
Yeah, and it gets pretty hard, and it has permadeath, so...
Love it to bits. Absolutely astounding soundtrack. Definitely not one for people that hate doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, we talked about checking out Baroque, and we probably will at some point.
Yeah, I would at the very least, because the intro is fantastic, and the first ending, essentially, is really good to look at. Like, the art and animation and the intro is phenomenal.
So what I wanted to do was save state, then check out what the hell this side story is, so I don't get stuck inside of it.
Yeah.
Okay, these are not the co-workers. And there's no voice acting. Oh yeah, most of the game doesn't have voice acting for the enemies that you meet.
Yep. This game actually came out quite late in the PS2's lifespan as well, just in case anyone's wondering why it didn't have any English voice acting. Towards the end, they just... For most of the PS2's life, there was like a weird requirement that every game had to have English voice acting. And then for about the last 20% of its lifespan, they were just like, we don't care anymore.
Yep, 2005, which I think is the same year the PS3 came out.
Sounds about right, yeah.
And also long after the band Trapt had their one-hit wonder. It's making it an especially terrible name for this game.
Yep.
No, please don't.
Please no. Please. 360 was 05, PS3 was 06.
There we go. I always remembered 05 being the start of that generation, but apparently it started in waves.
Yeah, pretty much. I consider the end of a console's lifespan to be, when they're like, okay, here's what the new one looks like. And at that point, it's like, well, we're going to get basically leftovers and half-assed ports of whatever's coming out on the fancier console. So the fact that this got a Western release whatsoever is kind of surprising. Well, see ya.
All right. Have a safe trip home, guys. Thanks for checking on me.
Lousy saying, did you play the Saturn PS1 Baroque or the Wii PS2 version? Actually, both in my case. I got the PS2 version when it came out, and the Saturn version came out. The Saturn version got a English patch, I think, just like 3 months ago.
That was a very weird side mission. Apparently,
yeah.
I should have chosen the other dialogue choice.
Yeah, if you tell them, like, yeah, cool, fine, whatever, then you get the opportunity to kill them.
It locked me out of going back, although I could load the state.
Yeah.
And then kill them.
Although I'm fairly certain, in order to set traps, you bring up a button. Or you press a button and it brings up a menu, and then you can place the traps wherever. I'm fairly certain you can actually put up like the pendulum trap and then take them all out in one go.
I believe it. Yeah, there's chain reactions and stuff. This is a very silly game when it gets going.
Yeah, this is basically...
It's got this like dark gothic theme, but it is a very slapstick.
Oh yeah, this is basically what happens when Tim Burton discovers Rube Goldberg machines.
I called it Home Alone from Hell.
Yeah. Only slightly less sadistic.
True.
Because at least the blades that you're using are sharp, where he was just, like, dumping paint cans into people's groins.
Yep. Boiling their hands.
Yeah. What's people's preferred version of Baroque? I'd say the PS2 Wii version is definitely the easier one to play. I love the soundtracks to both. The atmosphere is easily better in the PS1 version, but just for
Ew, Marcus is a real fucking creep.
yeah. But just for playing to enjoy, PS2 version easy.
Wash pan.
Yep. Washpan, what it does is it stuns enemies and leaves them wobbling around so you can lead them into further traps.
Yeah.
Thing that's also worth mentioning as well, the rocks are affected by slopes. Definitely worth remembering if you come across any staircases or anything, because you can get so much damage with one of those.
Yeah. And I did not equip the new one that I made.
I think
So I just got the starting 9.
Oh yeah, the new one you got was the death ball as opposed to just the rock.
Yeah, the Mega Rock.
Yeah.
Oh well, we're gonna want a pendulum somewhere.
Yeah. Pendulum launches enemies about 3 spaces in most of these games. So you can use that to launch enemies as well.
Oh, and there's a big, like, pre-existing trap right there.
Yep, a menhir.
Yeah, we'll want that there.
Magnet wall pulls enemies towards them, but doesn't do much damage.
Mm-hmm.
Blast floor also launches enemies as well.
Put a bear trap within range of the pendulum.
Yep.
Lock them down and then take them out. And that'll probably be good enough, actually. Might as well just throw this down for the hell of it.
What you can do is, if you put it just, right there by the bear trap, trap them, shoot them full of arrows, and then spike them hopefully into the menhir.
Yep. But they do have a bit of a, like, cooldown.
Yep.
While they're starting up. I wish I could change the camera controls, because I do not like the way the camera controls in this game.
They're on the shoulder buttons, aren't they?
No, it's the stick, but it's all inverted in a way I don't normally use. Okay, he's in trouble.
Yeah, it usually just lasts for about 2 or 3 seconds. Some of the more powerful ones will last longer.
I was hoping that would last longer. I'll get him this time.
Yeah, you really need to do it like 1, 2, 3.
Pendulum went right by him, even though he was in the square. Disappointing. Ellen, get yourself trapped one of these days.
Ellen, please.
Well, she's in the bear trap. Not quite. Whatever. That'll do. Did she end up under the spike? Okay, in order to activate the spike, I think we need to shoot it multiple times with the
I think you need to do it
cannon?
Twice.
Wild.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, let's somehow find a way to, like, spring someone into the cannon and then fire the cannon at them. Just gotta wait for this spring floor to activate.
Yeah. Something that wasn't in the early games is you can tell if someone's in range of the trap because the button will start blinking.
Nice. Apparently I didn't hit anyone with the spike, despite my best efforts.
This game has me very confused. Yes.
Indeed. It sure does. Oh, come on.
Does this have
Right between
humiliation
them?
traps, or is that in the later games? That's really only in the fourth one.
Yeah.
Like, there are traps that, you know, are essentially very painful and humiliating to look at, but actual humiliation isn't a category until the fourth one. And then
Misogynist Marcus is down. Get that guy out of here.
Okay, Ellen?
Now me and Ellen should be a couple.
How about we just, you know, call it even?
Yeah, seriously.
You can leave.
You were gonna quit anyway. After you killed Marcus, we solved the problem for you.
Yeah. Never heard of this game before, now you're telling me it's a series. Yeah, 5 games in total, though the last one is really just more of an expansion to the fourth one. I think there's a...
Well, no, Dark or Twilight Princess, whatever it's called. That's an expansion to Deception 4, which was a separate game from Deception 3. Oh, I impaled myself. The series is even more convoluted than you're giving it credit for.
Yeah, in the West, it's known as the Deception series.
Yeah, although this game does not have deception in any part of its title.
Yeah, first one was Tecmo's Deception Invitation to Darkness. Second one was Kagero, Deception 2. Third one, Deception Dark Illusion. Trapt. Deception 4 Blood Ties, and then Deception 4 Nightmare Princess, which was the expansion / pseudo sequel.
These don't seem especially useful.
This room, no. There are areas where you can usually like push people into collapsible pillars or whatever.
Yeah. One trap is, well, all of our traps are not very good.
Yeah.
This is why we gotta buy the upgrades.
Yeah, there's 2 currencies that you can earn, Arc and Warl. And they're both used for different things when it comes to creating traps.
Oh, where's he going? Worried about being on fire or something?
Yeah, when enemies catch fire, they usually run around in a panic.
Got him with the wash pan.
Yep. The upgraded versions are like you can drop like a pot on their head, which renders them blind for a bit. Upgraded versions of that, the pot is filled with oil, and then the pot is filled with burning oil.
I can see where that would be useful. Mark got the spike. Well deserved. She's hard to lure because she has a bow, so she doesn't have to worry about most things.
Yep, the ranged characters are inevitably the hardest. You basically need to run towards them in order to manipulate how they move.
Yeah.
It can be really difficult to get to grips with. Magnets are usually the best bet against ranged enemies, because then you can just go like, no, you over here, then we hit you with the guillotine.
We'll do the old arrow business.
Does the bear trap pop automatically? No, none of the traps will work automatically, especially the ones...
Yeah, they all have to be activated.
Yeah.
slowing down because she's badly, badly hurt. And it's about to get even worse.
Ellen and the terrible, no good, very bad day.
Yep.
I'm gonna say fair. If you watch it, if you want to see any like madness, there's full combo videos on YouTube for some of the games, and they just the amount of complete brutality that you can unleash on people, and some of the setups, especially for like the fourth one, which has like I think I can't remember what they call it, something like grand traps, where you like launch people into machines and just watch them get minced by a carousel.
Ada's here. She's every bit as mysterious as she is in Resident Evil.
Hey, it's that dog.
She's a notorious thief.
Werner?
Oh, they've been in the Black Forest this whole time, making delicious ham.
This game would be so good if that actually was Werner Herzog.
True, yeah.
The thing about Trapt is we all succumb to the inevitability of death before long.
Unleash grizzly bears on people.
No, when I said it was a bear trap. I think
Fortunately, he's not good enough to kill us.
I think I saw this guy in Final Fantasy XII. Well, we definitely saw her in Shadow Hearts Covenant.
Yeah.
Because it has a dominatrix type character. And that guy looks a lot like Yuri.
What do you know? The Final Fantasy XII reunion. I already said all the female characters look like they're dressed like Vieira.
What is this, a crossover game?
Got another side story. Oh, but that's several more people than usual.
Yep.
Fiend worshipper, so he should be our good friend. Works as Aladdin's right-hand man.
Oh! Okay, so we're gonna be beating up a victim of abuse. When I asked for moral
Lucky
ambiguity in my games, not like
How are these guys friends? Aladdin's right-hand man, a famous thief, an abuse victim.
Just some random mother.
Yep. And a pirate. An honorable pirate.
Well, he's an elf, so, you know, he deserves to die.
Oh wait, he's been living with Ada? That's weird. And then a full armor knight named Justin. He's won 99 battles. Oh, we got Cher the tomboy. Blowing off her family.
Classism.
Because they don't accept her boyfriend. Yep.
Vaglumo. That is a really unfortunate name.
Yep. That's why he became an evil mage. Comrades joke that if you see his smile, your wish will be granted.
Yep, this is where we're starting to get into the weird names, because you've got Elvin, Vaglumo, and Phil.
Yep. He hates taxes. I'm on Phil's side. Too bad I'm gonna have to kill him. You seen that movie Kill Phil?
Yeah, I got nothing. Oh, don't forget.
Wait, I have money. Yes. Not quite enough money to make the buzzsaw that I wanted, though. So close. Oh, we can buy a key.
Yep,
I can see a torture chamber coming in handy.
Torture chambers usually have an electric chair in them. Don't know if they do in this game, but pretty much every other game has it.
Although the key is labeled costume, so maybe that's all it really does. Probably not the best use of our money right now when we have so many powerful things that we need to buy still.
Well, don't get equipped.
Yeah, let's at least use the one that I have. Get rid of... We never used Mega Rock, so let's get rid of it. For its upgraded version.
Takes a little bit longer to charge, but does a good bit more damage.
Yep. 5 whole points.
Counts for a lot in this game. Enemies rarely ever go above 200 health.
Yeah, does it even show us that specific stat?
Did in previous
I don't think
games.
so. Let's see. Yeah, no HP counter.
Hang on a sec. Select that again. Press square.
Aha!
There we go.
Good call. We can even see it's like strengths and weaknesses. God, that's complicated.
Yeah. No, trust me, the Nightmare Princess gets even worse because some enemies are... Like, typically you don't get the trap immune enemies until much later in the game, whereas enemies that are armored will be immune to certain traps, and pretty much everyone is to begin with. Aladdin sounds so much younger than his appearance would suggest. Oh, that's right.
Love how the emulation error gives like Rachel a hole in her head.
Also, yeah, the Japanese version, Allura is called Alicia. Forgot about that.
Huh. So that's a better name. Why'd they make it worse?
Horrible puns usually take precedence over accuracy back in those days.
Fair enough. So they're not all attacking us at once, not all like 9 of those guys.
Yeah, they never... I think even in the later games, the most they will fire at you is 4 enemies. So anytime there's more than that, and these early games it's just 3. So anytime there's more than 3 enemies, it'll either be you kill one, they're replaced by another, or it'll be kill 3 enemies, 3 more appear.
And this was a team of 3, but only 2 of them are here somehow. Oh, the floor didn't load properly. I gotta check if there's like emulator settings.
Yeah, I didn't think the game had this many emulator issues.
Yeah. I've seen it run on emulator and it works fine. It might be like Siren 2, how you have to switch the emulator settings to get it to work properly.
Yeah, there's quite a few games where if you don't have everything precisely set for this one game, then everything looks like a nightmare.
Precisely. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do.
The iron ball down the stairs is always a good laugh.
Yeah.
And pendulum, usually with pillars, you can hit them once with the pendulum, and it will knock them over in that direction.
Yeah, it's too bad the pendulum is on the same button as the iron ball, because I'd like to use them both.
Yeah.
I like push wall is interesting. In theory, we'd be able to like smash someone into the pillar.
Yeah, you can do that. The push walls are really used for pushing people into like bear traps, for example. Pushing them into spikes, pushing them into electrified water, or collapsing things on them.
Well, the big guy's very slow. It'll be super easy to lure into the falling chandelier. For some quick damage while our traps are loading up. Never mind.
Bit too slow, unfortunately.
Yeah, that actually might have been the problem there. Okay, you. And then this. You'd think that would deal more damage.
Yep.
Now you're here. Just go. Walk out the damn door. I think he did.
Yep. Bear trap quickly.
It rolls back and forth. Yeah, you're right.
He just landed perfectly on the bear trap there.
Yeah. Well, he would have gotten knocked out of the bear trap by the second hit from the ball. There we go. And that'll give him a nice long nap. Those are some tragic last words, my friend.
I'm not touching that one. I feel uncomfortable.
Domestic abuse jokes.
Dead.
It's always funny when the lady does it to the man, right?
Without exception.
Yep. Hello. Ooh, that's unexpected.
Yeah, I think one of the enemies must have triggered it. Yeah, this is what I was talking about with the grand traps. They usually do a horrible amount of damage and sound really uncomfortable.
And dropped me right out of the meat grinder.
I think that might actually...
I was like well over 100 damage. It should have killed me. Yeah. That was seriously like 100 damage. 50 and then 15 multiple times and then another 30.
Yeah, I'm just not sure how they work as the way that they activate differs depending on which game you're playing.
Yeah. Anyway, Hannah's here. And Aladdin isn't. He never scored.
Dang it, Beavis.
Okay, there is a little sound effect when they step in a trap area.
Yep. And Iron Ball.
Anna, what were you even thinking? Also, who the hell was Jude? I read your bio and I never saw that name.
And for a second, I thought maybe she was talking about Justin.
Maybe.
Did say that she had a son, and she was a widow, so maybe one of those two.
Could be. We're stuck doing headcanon. I'm going to say it was Justin, the big hunky knight. This game is just an interlocking series of love triangles.
I mean, that's barely even a joke. It really is.
Yeah, it's a love fractal.
The deeper you go, the worse it gets.
Yeah. Philip, you missed the mission.
That's another thing as well.
Standing on the lawn.
Like, it'll show maybe like 5 or 6 characters in the pre-mission, but you might only even fight like 3 of them. and the others
Yeah.
will be like, "We have to go report this to someone." I love Sierpinski triangle. Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it.
先行してる兵たちからの連絡もないし。
お前たちグダグダ言ってんじゃねえよ。要は王
Oops,
女
all
を殺せばいいだけのこ
triangles.
と。行くぞ。仕方ない。カタリーナはいけすかないが。
All right, round 2.
許せ。なめんじゃねえ。
Got a claymore. Wonder how they triggered that thing that round me up for a long
I'm
time.
not sure. It might be because you were quite close to there was sort of like a blood stain just in that nook.
Yeah.
So if you get close enough to that.
Maybe it's this thing? I doubt it. I don't even know what this thing is still.
Yeah. I thought it was the healing, because there's usually a healing crystal in these games.
It might do that.
Yeah.
I haven't really tested it when I was injured.
Typically there's like a little healing trinket in the area that will heal you a certain amount and then break.
Yeah. And Hannah was able to open these doors, but I'm not. It sucks. Here's our map. Looks like we have access to 3 rooms. Let's see if I can find that third one. Set up my traps while they are catching up to me. And notably, we don't get to change our trap layout in between rounds of a single mission.
Yep. Whatever you go in with, you're stuck with until the stage ends or you reset.
Yeah.
That can make things very difficult.
This is certainly big. These rocket fists? What the hell?
I think it dropped a couple of flaming rocks or something.
Weird. Can't go any further at the moment. The rest of the castle will open up as we play the game.
Guessing you'll probably be able to... There's sort of like a minecart just at the top of the stairs there. I'm guessing you'll be able to push that over if you put a push wall behind it.
That's worth a shot.
So probably bear trap at the bottom of the stairs and then the push wall.
I like that idea. Air traps make everything easier. Damn it. Missed my chance.
Yep.
But I get another chance very soon after. Oh god! That was his entire health bar in one go.
Yep. The longer your combo, the more you get out of it, including increased damage, but you also get arc and whirl for it.
Yeah. I don't know what that third thing was. Why was there a giant ball
Not sure.
behind the minecart? Because that was not my iron ball.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was that or if whatever was in the minecart exploded.
Yeah, let me see. No, there was a giant head. I noticed it floating above the stairs, and I guess for some reason that fell down and also hit the guy for almost 100 damage.
And more the merrier.
True. I think I want... Spring blast him down the stairs. Or rather, yeah. Spring Blast. Right around here. Keep him down at the bottom of the stairs so that I can hit him with the flying Mecha Fist or whatever the hell that thing is.
Mecha Death Fist.
There it is activated. We will outrun him. We will get attacked by Vaglumo. Back down the stairs, jerk. And... oh, this thing's not on yet.
Must have been a one-time use only.
Maybe? Not enough information.
The mages are basically slower archers, but they can usually do AoE damage, and they usually have elemental effects with their attacks. On the whole, they're usually easier to deal with than the archers.
Pendulums are pretty reliable. Never figured out what to do with this environmental cannon thing.
Cannon shoots an arrow which hits the menhir.
I guess I kept firing it off when they were, like, lying down.
Yeah.
Because they'd just been hit really hard. Try one of these.
Yeah. Pendulum, like bear trap, arrow trap, pendulum is like your standard basic 3-hit combo.
Okay.
There we go.
And then he got impaled by the falling spike. I wish I'd gotten a better camera, because that means he flew across the entire room
Oh yeah.
in order to get pinned up against the wall. Like how he had to teleport to the other side of the spike because it covered the door. And no more ranged enemies, so...
It's just like, ew, I stepped in the Glumo.
Yep. Okay. Shot him with arrows.
I'm not quite sure what happened there. I thought you got him with the bear trap.
Yeah, he made it sound like, oh, I've been hit with a bear trap. Yeah, he just shakes out a bear trap. So I guess because he's a thief.
Yeah.
That is probably a thief ability.
Yeah, he'll probably be immune to them.
Makes a certain amount of sense.
Usually it's the armored enemies that are immune to them because they've got the heavy greaves and that.
Didn't expect that animation.
Right between the boobs.
Yep. Oh, come on, man.
This is one
I
of
guess when they get up to you,
yeah.
combo time.
Yeah, this is one of the big problems with the series is that it's very, very easy to be comboed by like 2 or 3 enemies in the same room.
Pendulum. Hard to land. Well, let's regroup. Bear trap is still flawless.
Yep.
Beyond reproach. Iron Ball doesn't really work here. And arrows and whatnot at this point. Not all that valuable.
Yeah. Once you get some of the elemental arrows, then they can be really useful. You get the freezing arrows, for example, which usually hold an enemy in place for like 3-4 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Justin, what is your movement pattern here? Impossible to predict. And both characters are immune to the bear trap, it seems.
Yeah.
Know for a fact they won't be immune to things that are in a different category anyway. I was thinking the magnet. They don't care about the magnet.
Yeah, blast bomb will probably work as well. Usually sends them flying.
But it also knocks them down. Follow me too close. Acceptable.
And then he stands up.
Oh, he's on fire, so he's a little faster than usual. Okay, he lost his mind and then died.
Okay, I didn't realize that the blast floor adds DOT. It's usually one of the upgraded forms that does stuff like that. I played the second game so much.
How does that keep missing? It's so close. Okay, got her with the rebound. Another archer.
She'll actually
Such a
probably
pain.
be vulnerable to the bear trap now.
Likely. Oh, got them both. Miraculously. And they're both dead.
Wow.
Yeah, that was not repeatable. That was a complete accident. Get your last words.
Is that why he's unpopular with the ladies?
Must be. I guess he was the only one who mattered.
Goodbye, Vaglamo. You were no go bone.
I think Rachel just figured out that we're killing people.
Are we the baddies? You accidentally pledge your eternal allegiance to Satan one time.
速やかに発見し殺せ。
リネが
行け。はっ。
I was always amazed by how explicitly evil our character is in this game. After a while, we're just not even doing it for survival. We are killing people for Satan.
Second one, you were explicitly working for a race of blue-skinned immortals that drain the souls of people in order to maintain their lifespan. And there's several paths. I think it's like 5 or 6 endings in it, and in half of them, you're like, "Yep, totally on board with working for these people, even though I am human myself."
Yeah. And here we have Veronica, a nice woman. Strong sense of justice for Blizzardo.
I bet he was tormented in school.
That's called nominative determinism. Stubborn carpenter. Angered by civil war. And made cells for royalty to quell a civil war.
I mean, whatever.
So that's not a good guy.
Whatever you think is your calling in life, I guess.
And a thief who fell in love with a noblewoman while he was robbing her.
Lewis!
The Shackles of Fate. I don't know why they have such dramatic titles for every single chapter.
Oh, they're all just ridiculously over the top.
Yep, and they all mean basically nothing. Yeah. They could have been the title of any chapter. You could shuffle them and it would make as much sense.
Cut and paste, shuffle them around. Anything that's not the final chapter.
She had to run into Hammerman. And another summary that's just some guys are here and they're gonna try to kill you.
Allura can't go home. Her stepmother's a bitch, and people want to kill her with knives and hammers. And scene.
How on earth did I ever activate that thing? On myself.
Yeah. Do you want me to see if I can find out?
I mean, you can poke around if you want. At least we got to see it.
Yeah.
Seeing it is the important part, even if it was used on myself. I did have an opportunity to buy new traps, which I probably should have done. Oh well. Only 4 enemies. So unless there's a big twist, we should be able to handle this one pretty quickly.
I'm fairly certain that every game, they never have, like, hidden enemies. Whoever you fight in a stage, you're going to see at the very beginning.
Yeah. Push wall's still underwhelming. Air trap, however, does good work. Oh, big guy's too smart to walk into our giant glowing indicators of where the traps are.
Okay, so the one in the hallway is called the Man-Eating Music Box. And I quote, "It is worthy to note the first dark illusion," which is the name of those big traps, "is in this room, and it's very easy to activate."
Accurate. I
you say
activated
so.
it on accident.
Not going to tell you how, but, you know.
He actually avoided my push trap. Pushed it back. Okay. What the hell?
So I guess it is just get them to step onto the blood?
But I've done that many times.
Yeah, I have no idea what to do. Also, you took less damage that time. That was kind of weird. Oh, because you barely have any life.
It should have been able to kill me, you would think, at least. Well, Veronica's dead.
Well, the...
Now I can test if that platform heals me up.
I was going to say the glowing circle's downstairs.
Yeah. I'll go through the center, even though most of the time it doesn't bother you.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like it instantly fully healed me. That's kind of broken.
Yeah, usually it's only, you get like 2 or 3 charges, and then it just stops working.
Okay. It is finite.
And typically they take a while to recharge as well, so you can't just spam it.
And went like right through the center on this carpet. I don't know the rules.
Yeah.
Oh. Dudley's down.
Bye, Dudders. You're not
Very
a grave digger, you're
astutely
a
recognized.
carpenter.
Also true.
Should have been my own coffin I was building. That makes sense.
Makes more sense, that's for sure. Blizzardo's about to show up. There he is. Uh-oh.
Giant ice spike.
Blizzardo has some, Sub-Zero moves.
Yep.
Or that, because why not? And
Nice.
it kills Lewis. Yeah, the ranged guys are typically not much of a problem as long as they are not backed up.
Yeah. The main problem with
You can just walk slightly to the side.
main problem with any ranged enemies is just getting them into position so you can actually do something to them.
Yeah. You weren't on the list,
I love this.
but he's the glue of the party.
We both went for the same joke. That's the kind of quality humor you can expect around here.
Yep, the same joke twice. Because it was so good the first time.
It's so nice I want to hear the same joke twice.
Oh, Blizzardo. That was pathetic. Oh, I tapped him. Knocked him over.
The princess nudged me.
Some would call that an honor. You should be more grateful.
Yeah, did have a check there. The keys do open new rooms. Some of them do give you different costumes, but not till later.
So I should have enough money after this to probably buy a key or two.
Yeah.
I mean, the one of them's super cheap.
Yeah, there's not much in that room apparently, but it's worth picking up just so you've got somewhere else to go, just in case.
Yeah, seriously. A little more variety.
That dude.
He's good and dead.
No, it's what they call a giant boulder to the skull.
A strong boulder, though. Somehow Ada's being paid to kill Finnegan's minions. Finnegan sent them in.
You're telling me that the incredibly shifty thief was being incredibly shifty the whole time? This is a revelation.
Trapt says never trust an Irishman. And Rachel took a long nap. Great.
Maybe there's
Another
three of them.
gray-haired femme fatale. Yeah, they're practically clones.
Oh, it's Mate,
Yep.
who looks ridiculously like Ada. Is there a plague of grey-haired women around these places?
Yeah.
Because they appear to be multiplying.
It's considered attractive in this realm.
Yeah, whatever pops your blister, I guess. Robert Bertrand. God, that guy was an asshole.
That explains why he worships Satan, apparently.
It's always the ones you most suspect.
さすがのお前も気が引けるか。
Dun dun dun.
あのような女の命など
So is he the prince, or is he the sister of one of the other gray-haired women running around?
魔人の力で追ってをほふっているとのこと。
It's already very hard to tell.
Yeah.
向かってくるかわからない
We've fallen into like season 5 of Game of Thrones somehow.
おそらくグレインズの兵どもがアリシアを守っているのだ。
Doing things in media res is a perfectly legitimate way to handle a plot, but you kinda need to explain the characters and the stakes at some point.
Yep. I mean, they over-explain characters who die 10 seconds after we meet them.
心強き言葉ならば旧国の英雄殿の耳に
This is Tim.
入れておき
He has an epic story which will be revealed in 27 parts. This is the main antagonist. He is a dick. The end.
それはいい。グレインズ、ようやくお前と別れることができそうだ。
Soon we'll be free of grains.
And then we can
Character we haven't
eradicate.
met.
And then we can eradicate all the pulses.
私を魔人の生贄に捧げたと。
はい妻子が何者なのかはまだわかりませぬがただ確実に言えることは
Wait, you're in the cult and you don't know who the head cultist is?
Yeah, I'm gonna say trusting a cultist who wants to who wants to kill all the other cultists. Are you sure that's a good idea?
このお嬢ちゃんを殺しておいた方がいいんじゃないのかい
Cults are normally a tough sell.
いいえ
That does make it a little tougher.
一度目覚めた魔人は生贄が
Also, this game has a really big problem with having spaces after commas. That's like the third time I've noticed that happen.
Yeah, the translation is flawed.
魔人の災いから逃れる術はありま
The
せん
first one I thought was like saving space, but there was still enough space
Yeah.
to fit all the text, so that probably was not it.
供物を断ち復活の進行を止めている間に
And plus, they can fit up to 3 lines. 4 if you include the name.
準備を整えます
その死ってのは信用できるのかい
死ベルトランはかつて魔人を封印した魔導士たちの最後の生き残り死はその身を賭してでも再びあの惨劇を食い止めるでしょう無論私も
Say so asking in chat, are we going to play any horror games this month?
これよりアリシア様は
This is a horror themed game.
Horror-esque?
Yeah, gothic.
アリシア様今館を離れるのは危険
Fairly
すぎます
certain the first couple of games when they were released were like 18 plus, or whatever the rating was at the time.
レイチェルは
The first one, the very first one, was T-rated.
How was it?
Everyone since has been bumped up by quite a wide margin, because it was definitely getting away with something.
Yeah. I'm surprised at the first one. I would have thought that would have been the one hit most hardly because you were literally summoning the devil.
私はそろそろ消える
Yeah.
But I know that the second and third were like mature.
Snuck under the radar, and then they all got punished ever since then.
Yep.
濡れ衣を晴らしたいんだろうそれにここで隠れてるよりは真相に近づけるかもね
Well, yeah, I'd like to check out more horror games this month.
魔人の災いが迫っています一刻も
Yeah,
早く
we came up with like 4 or 5 to possibly do.
時間がありませんさあ参りましょう
アリシア様お願いですレイチェルと館にとどまってください
Pretty sure most of this has been cutscene, and that ratio stays consistent throughout the entire game.
Oh yeah, the games, the entire series has, frankly, baffling amounts of effort put into its story.
Yep. About which hardly anyone cares.
Oh, this one's interesting. Say so. I'm not recommending it. Have you played Nightmare Creatures?
Ooh, Nightmare Creatures. Why, I think it's the first time I've heard of it.
You know, it's so weird. I would never have thought you to be any kind of fan of Nightmare Creatures.
Yeah, I played like 100 hours of Nightmare Creatures and I hated the bejesus out of it. That was one of the most difficult Let's Plays I ever did.
Yeah. It's up on Fiendly's YouTube channel if you want to have a check. Yes, you did the sequel as well, didn't you?
I did. That one was a mess.
Yeah. When the best thing you can say about it is it has Rob Zombie in the titles. And I like Rob Zombie.
Yeah. But he's in every video game.
Yeah. There was a period of about 5 years in the 90s when he just showed up everywhere, and it was always Dracula or some remix of Dracula.
I was gonna buy the Buzzsaw, but I spent too much on keys, so...
Dang it.
Oh well. That's probably a good spot for a first look.
Yeah.
Because we've been at it for quite a while.
We think maybe do some more a later date, or come back to it.
Entirely possible.
I
mean, I'm interested in showing off more traps and stuff.
Yeah, some of the traps are like when you get to New Game Plus, you have access to absolutely everything you can do, and some of the later traps are silly as hell. There's an Easter egg one, which is one of the characters from Monster Rancher.
What about Stormo?
I read it wrong. I thought it was Schmorto, and that's not much better.
No, he's Stormo, a good friend of Blizzardo.
Hey, what's up? I'm Stormo. So asking, do you think the new Twisted Metal game will come out on Halloween?
I'd say there's exactly a 0% chance of that happening.
I have not heard anything about a new Twisted Metal game since the PS3 one.
The last announcement about any Twisted Metal game coming out was made in January.
I imagine the TV show renewed a whole lot of interest in the series, but there'll probably be a while, even if that is the case, probably be a while before anything comes of it.
There was supposed to be a tie-in game that came out alongside the TV show. It's almost certainly canceled. And the TV show is almost certainly canceled because the strike is over and they haven't said a word about it.
Yeah.
So,
but we're finally getting work on season 3 of Yellow Jackets, and I could not be happier.
Interesting.
Love that series.
Okay, so there's your good note to go out on. Watch Yellow Jackets.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us for Trapt, which very well might return. Or even more Traps, because we've seen very few so far.
Oh, yeah.